It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And joining me this week is stand-up Mark Nelson, and with him is comedian Crystal Evans. And facing off against them is stand-up and writer Laura Lex, and joining her is comedian Roscoe McClelland. In the news this week, Katie Hopkins has been axed from Australia's Big Brother after flouting strict hotel quarantine rules. Producers said if she was upset at being stuck indoors for a few days, Big Brother probably wasn't the show for her. Northern Rail's new self-service ticket machines have been targeted by a suspected ransomware cyber attack. Some have pointed the finger at China, although President Xi claims he was just trying to buy a standard single to Wigan. And Virgin Media has told its customers to keep Wi-Fi routers out of direct sunlight in case they overheat. Other advice from Virgin includes not to get the router wet and never ever feed it after midnight. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. Woo. Hey. This is the Broken News round where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So Mark and Crystal, can you tell me our first story, please?
The whole of Scotland has moved
The Prime Minister,
across England as the clock struck midnight.
Downing Street said,
Boris Johnson
and Dominic Cummings
were among the first to take to the dance floor at a nightclub in Leeds.
There we go. It's all happening, Mark. What are you thinking? First story, mate.
So this is us down level 0, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, we're allowed more freedoms. Pubs are allowed to open till midnight. We're allowed 15 people in our gardens now, which means I can start training the Scottish rugby team again.
They've suffered in your absence.
They have.
Well done for giving us the right answer, Mark. That is correct. It is the news that all of Scotland is now in level 0 as we continue our roadmap out of lockdown. Meanwhile, masks and face coverings, which are still mandatory in Scotland, are no longer compulsory in England. ScotRail will make COVID restriction announcements to passengers as they leave trains, which is useful as many boarded before the pandemic started. So there we go. We're in level 0 at last. What does it mean for you, Crystal? Are you enjoying it?
Not really, to be honest. Like, in regular times, I'm not really a hugger, and COVID has really taken the pressure off me in that respect. But now, like, people are just wanting hugs left and right, and I really need my space. So I've just told my two kids, go and ask daddy. You know what I mean?
Laura, what are you thinking? Are you enjoying the fact that level 0 is here?
Oh, yeah. I never fails to amuse me how the English come up with more ways to make you lot hate us. Like, we've done hundreds of years of war, and now it's like we've stopped scrapping in the street, and we're just being irritating about what seats we're in on trains. It's great.
Roscoe, what do you think about this? Scotland finally in level 0. Is this a happy time for you?
I'm so disappointed with it, man. Like, see, the previous lockdowns, I had the best year of my life, right? Everybody was moaning about being stuck in the house. I'm like, I love being in the house. That's where all my stuff is. And it was great. The government were like, oh, you're going to have to stay in your house. And I was like, oh, no. Don't do that to me. For how long? Oh, for like a year. Oh, please. Don't do that. What am I going to do about money, Boris? Well, see, if you're self-employed, we're going to pay you about 80% of the money you might not even have earned anyway. Oh, no!
Well, here's the question moving on from there, Crystal. We've now got some different rules across the different parts of the UK. Do you see any issues with that?
Well, like, I'm from the US, right? And we have very different laws on pretty much everything state to state, and it has literally never caused any problems. So I really don't see what the big deal is.
No issues whatsoever.
No, none.
Oh.
The train seat thing is very funny. I love that, like, if we all play musical chairs at Carlisle, COVID will go, there's not a seat left for me. That's fine.
Well, I think we've always had, like, different laws in parts of the UK, like, because I go around and do gigs and stuff, and I'm so fed up having to like Google some small town and some ancient law to see if it's legal to shoot a Scotsman on a Tuesday with a crossbow. You know?
Obviously, there's the issue of COVID passports, which has come back up again. So, just to get you up to speed with it, the government are considering vaccine passports for higher risk activities in a post-Freedom Day England.
Well, nothing screams Freedom Day more than a health secretary, a prime minister, and a chancellor self-isolating as they celebrate Freedom Day.
London North Eastern Railway caused a stir when they said they would not enforce social distancing on trains crossing the border from England due to their policy known as the Margaret Ferrier. Margaret Ferrier, of course, Cockney rhyming slang for the more the merrier. Right, well done, Mark and Crystal. You get 2 points for that. And to you, Laura and Roscoe, what was the other story we were after?
Is that Dominic Cummings interview, isn't it? Where he sort of, you know, for years he's been like, he's the sneaky mastermind that's in charge of Boris Johnson. And now he's come out and gone, actually, I was a sleeper cell working for you, the public. And I was both the mastermind and ignored the whole time.
Well done for actually getting the voice of Dominic Cummings in our monologue there as well. Yes, it is the news that this week Boris Johnson's former aide, Dominic Cummings, has given his first major TV interview to Laura Kuenssberg. In the interview, Cummings made a series of claims about the Prime Minister's leadership, including that by mid-January 2020, Mr Johnson did not have a plan. When asked about his comments, a government spokesperson said ministers were fully focused on recovery from the pandemic and restoring the economy. Now, Dominic Cummings claims a disagreement with Boris Johnson's new wife was part of the reason for him leaving his position. Cummings wasn't happy that she was changing her name to Carrie Johnson, as that was his job title. So, Roscoe, did you see the Dominic Cummings interview and what did you make of it?
I did see it, yeah, and these things keep happening. And you go, oh, this is going to be the thing that finally gets him. But then nothing ever changes. You know, it's like, do you remember that bonus level in the Street Fighter games where you just have to like punch a car to bits? And the first time I did it, I was like, yeah, I'm punching this car to bits, man. This car's never going to be the same again. But the next time I load up the game, the car's just back and it's perfect again.
Yeah.
It's not going to touch him, is it? Like, at this point, I don't know. I don't think the Conservatives are going to get voted out until the leader of the Labour Party is David Tennant. Like, it's going to take a national treasure stepping in.
I think the damage only lasts as long as people's memories, like people's attention spans, you know. So I just think Boris should distract us all somehow by like announcing that the second vaccination now comes with a free frozen Mars bar.
And what about the timing of this then, Mark? Why now?
If you look at the timing of it, I think he had been asked to be best man and he didn't fancy organising a stag do in COVID time. He went, Magaloof's out. It's on the amber list. We can't go there. I'm not spending an afternoon paintballing with Michael Gove in Cumbria. So I'll just release everything I know about Johnson.
That's
and then I won't even get an evening invite.
That's incredible. If you were to be sat down and done a similar tell-all interview, what would be your big revelation from it? Laura?
I think it would be that for a childless 30-something comedian, a life can be surprisingly boring. I think people would listen to an hour of me talking and going, but does she do stuff other than Minecraft? I thought that was a game for 8-year-olds.
The big tell-all interview is happening. Roscoe, what is the big revelation that we're taking away from it?
At Christmas time, I tried to fart a Christmas song for a laugh.
Please say it was the 12 days of Christmas. 'Cause that's impressive, Roscoe.
Mark, what about you? If you do get that big tell-all interview, what's the big revelation we're getting?
Well, I've held this in since 2002.
Is this going to be a fart that sounds like a carol?
It's not. Roscoe has that covered. I would like to admit now on national radio that it was me that let the dogs out. I want to apologise to the Baha men. I didn't even mean to. Just left the gate open.
Yes, well done, Laura and Roscoe. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of changing COVID restrictions and that Dominic Cummings interview. And at the end of that round, our teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to Outlander actor Grant O'Rourke and comedian Elaine Malcolmson. So, Laura and Roscoe, what story do you think Elaine is on about here?
I think we've all been taken in by these, and maybe some of us have learned from the experience a bit more. I mean, I had to have a word with myself when I ended up buying a steam cleaner just because Mrs. Thompson in Warrington said it had a nice handle. I don't think you should buy candles online to start with, because really they could smell of anything. But also I don't know what I was thinking buying a candle that smelled of a fire, because that's hardly going to be relaxing, is it?
Is it the fact that they're looking at making it illegal to leave fake reviews on things?
That is the right answer. Well done. It is the news that writing fake online reviews could become illegal. Under government proposals, regulators would receive help to stamp out tactics used to manipulate people browsing for goods and services online, including writing fake reviews.
But the problem is, though, we're always going to buy junk online that we don't need and isn't what it was meant to be, because unless there's a way to stop us shopping after a bottle of wine, which security guards at H&M were always very good at keeping me out of the shop, but I find that websites don't have the same security.
I love reading online reviews. My favourite ones are when I find something that's so banal and I just look at it, I'm like, well, how could someone give 2 stars to a sausage or an onion? You know, I like the wagon wheels are the best. That's my favourite review to read. And it's just loads of people going, these aren't the same as they were in the 70s. They used to be bigger and they used to taste better. And I'm like, I don't think it's the wagon wheels that's the problem here. I think it's you hate your life, and no amount of wagon wheel size is going to change that fact.
Really?
I recently went to a donkey sanctuary that quite clearly said on the website, it's a donkey sanctuary. We've got 114 donkeys. It's a donkey sanctuary. And then one of the TripAdvisor reviews was like, it's too many donkeys.
My favourite type of reviews are when they're reviewing the most ordinary object and then just go off on a tangent. So you'll get someone going, I recently bought this Hoover and a week after my husband was hit by a bus. So, take from that what you will.
They have online reviews for like natural landmarks, you know? Like I was just on Google the other day and there's actual reviews on Stonehenge, and I read a review on Stonehenge and it said, pathetic that these ancient peoples needed help from aliens to build something so boring, 1 star.
Yes. Starting with you, Roscoe. What is the biggest lie that you have told online?
Oh, so many. But for the past 12 years, I've been undercover in a Bigfoot UK group on Facebook.
What?
Exactly. And I try so hard not to blow my cover. I'm not posting in there every week or even every month, but like just every, like 8 months I'll go in and some guy will have posted a picture of like some snap twigs and I'll go, yeah, definitely Bigfoot, mate.
No. Oh, no. Mark, what about you? We're talking about online reviews being fake, and some of them certainly are. What's the biggest lie that you have told online?
Anytime my wife will put up pictures of a weekend we've been away with the kids on Facebook, I'll then like it. So she'll put something like great weekend away and then I'll put like. And I'm lying because it wasn't a great weekend away. It was hell on earth, Des. They didn't shut up once. And one of them spewed in the back of the car. It was awful.
That's the review I want to read. People are being told to be wary of those things whose appeal have been overinflated by the addition of meaningless stars. Good point for anybody who's seen The Masked Dancer. A potential crackdown on fake reviews is the correct answer. 2 points goes to Laura and Roscoe. Right to you, Mark and Crystal. What do you think Grant is talking about here?
Until they can invent a robot that can carry my shopping up 3 flights of stairs, you're still going to need to pay human beings to do things. Yeah, until that day comes, I'm going to remain sceptical, I suppose. I think I'd miss the interactions. I think there's still a lot of value in the human interaction of going up to somebody that works there and saying, like, have you got any of those chicken Kievs? out the back, and then the guy goes out the back and probably goes for a fag break or something, and then just comes back later and goes, yeah, no, we've not got any.
Is he talking about the fact that there might be unmanned supermarkets soon and we won't need any like actual people working in the shops?
Crystal, that is the right answer. Yes, it is the news that supermarket Morrison's is to trial its first unmanned store. The shop will have no tills and cameras will track the product shoppers select and then debit their accounts. But do check you haven't been overcharged. As we know, the camera always adds £10. So would you trust a till-free shop?
The thing is, when I grew up, we actually had something like this in my hometown. It was called shoplifting. I do actually love this idea. I think, like all millennials, I would do almost anything to avoid human interaction. So if I don't have to pause my true crime podcast, I am a happy camper.
So, Mark, what do you think? Can you trust till-free shopping?
All you have to do is figure out how many grapes would weigh the same as a flat screen telly. And then you just walk out with it.
That's brilliant.
This is genius.
Yeah. And then somebody doing the stock take later on going, that guy's bought 100 kilos of grapes.
Just thinking of what you said there about the kind of weighing the grapes, one of my favourite bits is like weighing a lime and going, yeah, I'm paying exactly what I'm supposed to pay for that lime. in this till-free shopping era, are they going to make me weigh my limes, or am I going to be paying like premium lime price for not premium limes? And I can't have that. So you know what? I'm against it. I'm against it.
Crystal, what do you think about this argument that we would miss having people in store to help? Would that affect you?
I don't know if I'd miss it, but there is, I will admit, there's a healthy shame that comes with an actual human judging the contents of your shopping. Like, if no one but me is physically touching it, I think I just end up exclusively living off like beer, Doritos, and Old Spice Girls DVDs, which I already do.
Maybe if they're filming it, they could play like a reel of shameful shop of the week on the way in. So.
It could be a new reality show.
Laura, what one thing would you do to improve supermarkets?
I'd alternate, so every week somebody pops in and just changes all the aisles the other way.
Oh!
Just spice it up.
Final thought on this to you, Roscoe. What one thing would you do to improve supermarkets?
I would make them all have to stop selling, you know, those little strips of cars that they get? It's the side of some of the aisles, and there's loads of them. And I'm walking around trying to get essentials for myself, and my man-child brain can't help myself going, well, I never got any when I was wee, and now I've got the money, and I'm going to buy 10 Hot Wheels cars and take them home. My wife's going to shout at me again for buying cars. It's such a problem.
New unmanned supermarkets is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Mark and Crystal. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Mark and Crystal, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I don't know is the pretty easy answer on that. So I think the way that it works is you don't get told until you're told. If it happens, somebody else puts you forward for it, and there's apparently some hoops. So I've not been told, so I don't know.
It's former Scottish Conservative leader Ruth Davidson, now Baroness Ruth Davidson of London Links.
Yes, of course it is. The former leader of the Scottish Conservatives and now Baroness Ruth Davidson. Ruth Davidson was formally introduced into the House of Lords on Tuesday. She has previously spoken out about reforming the House of Lords and said that this week she was genuinely astonished that the Prime Minister didn't block her peerage.
I didn't realise you got to pick your name. Like I thought, I thought you were assigned. You know how like the royals, when you become when you marry in the royals, you're assigned a title. I thought it was the same in the House of Lords, but you get to pick. So I'd love, like, I'm genuinely now want to become a lord. So they come and go, right, what would you like to be known as, Lord? And I just go, of the dance.
So were you surprised, Crystal, to see Ruth Davidson get her peerage and become Baroness this week?
Shocked, more like Des. Shocked, especially after I Googled what peerage meant. I will admit I don't know a lot about the House of Lords. It looks like essentially what's a weekly party where rich people dress up as Santa Claus.
Well, Laura, here it is. Ruth Davidson is now Baroness in the House of Lords. What did you make of her peerage? Were you surprised that she was there accepting it?
Who turns down power, eh? Not somebody that's spent their life trying to get into power. I mean, I don't know much about the lady, but sure, have a lovely time. I hope the cafeteria's nice.
It just seems like she's like building up this profile of like an evil supervillain now. You know, she drove a tank. She's a baroness now. I'm not going to be surprised if next week she's like, oh, by the way, I've got this giant laser gun on the moon.
Laura, what do you think about it? Obviously, people want to reform a second chamber. What would you do to modernise the House of Lords?
I'd make it more fun. So you're allowed to stand up and say something, but the opposition gives you the accent you have to speak in while you do it.
Like, whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
Mark, what would you do to modernise it?
I'd put in a bouncy castle. Can you imagine if something was, even the most boring of bills was getting put out of it, like traffic calming measures, and then suddenly you just saw like Ian Botham bouncing into his seat? It'd be incredible.
Can you imagine the scenes at Christmas time? Like 12 lords are leaping.
Yes, 2 points goes to Mark and Crystal. That was Baroness Ruth Davidson. Right, Laura and Roscoe, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
Well, I must like showing off, mustn't I? But I've always thought my acting was at the service of the material that we were presenting, you know, the playwright, the script. And so I don't think of myself as the star. So that is what connects my work in cinema and my work in theatre. Audiences can be guaranteed if they come and see me act. They may not like what I do, but the material that I'm dealing with is well worth anyone's time and money.
I believe that is actually Sir Ian McKellen.
Yes, that is the right answer, Roscoe. Well done, my friend. At 82 years old, Ian McKellen is making history as he becomes the oldest actor ever to play Hamlet, 50 years after he first took on the role. The role is normally used as a vehicle for younger actors, with this current production being described as age-blind. McKellen is taken to the stage as Romeo, Prospero and Coriolanus, which means he's nearly played all of David Beckham's kids.
I think it's great. You know, get all these old people who got cheap houses back out to work. You know, COVID's over. Get them back out. Make them work for it.
I mean, I don't think they have much choice, though, because there's no actors in the right age bracket that are double vaxxed. So it kind of got to be him.
I love Shakespeare. I love Ian McKellen. I would love the fact if there was like an open audition for it, and there was some new up-and-coming young actor nervous because he's getting this final callback, and then the director's coming in and going, well, it's just between you and one other actor, so in you come. Oh, it's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Did you see that thing recently about Owen Wilson talking about working with Tom Hiddleston? And Tom Hiddleston was like, so have you ever played Hamlet? And Owen Wilson was just there like, I mean... no, dude, I'm Owen Wilson. Who's watching that edition of
To
Hamlet?
be or not to be.
All right. Laura, what do you think about this idea? It's an old phrase, but is it true that age is in fact just a number?
Age is a number, but back pain isn't just a number. The ability to stay awake through a film that's more than 90 minutes isn't just a number.
Age, I think age is just a number. You know what I really hate when it comes to age? You know on the internet, and you get those things going, you want to know how old you are, and they'll tell you something from your childhood. It's like, I know how old I am. I see it every single day, and I cry. I look in the mirror, I know how old. I don't need to know what Sabrina the Teenage Witch looks like now to tell me how old I am.
Is age really just a number, Crystal?
I mean, I really thought it was, but I turned 35 this year, and I've made a hard turn into gardening, yoga, and asking my husband if it's wine o'clock yet. So I'm showing my age.
You really have changed. So here it is for Ian McKellen. He's back on stage playing an iconic role like Hamlet. But what role would you play if you could?
James Bond.
Yes!
The dream. Because there hasn't been a Scottish James Bond since Connery.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to be another Scottish James Bond, but properly Scottish. So I'd want to be like there in a tuxedo, playing the puggy in a bowling club, just going, yes, you dancer.
Mark Nelson stars in Doctor How No. What role would you play if you could, Roscoe?
I'd also like to be in Hamlet, but I would like to play the Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I'm not sitting there saying nothing. I'm doing like some wisecracking lines along the way, you know, just bringing the vibe up of the show. You know, he's like, oh, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. And I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling well anymore.
Sir Ian McKellen, of course, played Magneto in the X-Men films. Magneto defeated his rival, the wheelchair-bound Professor X, by reporting him to Atos, saying he was fit for work. Yes, Sir Ian McKellen is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Laura and Roscoe. Yay! And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I'll read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. Get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Pingdemonium.
There you go. That's Pat McFadden MP after uploading his latest Tinder profile. Right, let's go, teams. Here we go. What has gone up by 75% this year?
The chance you might have to attend a wedding.
What has gone up by 75% this year?
It's Jeff Bezos.
Brilliant.
What has gone up by 75% this year?
My BMI.
What has gone up by 75% this year?
I think it's NHS staff pay when adjusted to include clapping.
What has gone up by 75% this year?
Is it the amount of flies that can't seem to find their way out of an open window?
Yes!
I've got every window in the house open, and I'm like, just leave, man.
I can give you the right answer, and it is this. That what has gone up by 75% this year is the number of children in the UK applying to be homeschooled.
Pingdemonium.
Oh, there we go. That is our klaxon. And Pat has McFaddened. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Mark Nelson and Crystal Evans. Woo! Yay! Woo! And commiserations to Laura Lex and Roscoe McClellan. Yay! And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. Scotland's Curry Restaurant of the Year has been honoured with his own flavour of Walker's Crisps. Walkers are particularly excited to debut a flavour that nobody's ever tasted before, which will be called Wee Bag of Salad That Comes With Your Pakora. The proms will be open to full audiences this year. Organisers had wanted to be more restrictive, but felt proms fans weren't going to be able to abide by any rule that wasn't followed by Britannia. And Australia and New Zealand have pulled out of the Rugby League World Cup due to concerns over COVID. Now we only need England, Tonga, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Samoa and France to pull out, and Scotland might have a shot. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.